Let me ask you something. Have you recently felt a sudden, unexplainable shortness of breath or a weird, heavy flutter in your chest when you are just going about your normal day? Maybe you were just walking up a single flight of stairs in your home or carrying a few light bags of groceries from the car to the kitchen. Suddenly, you feel this deep, overwhelming fatigue wash over you, like someone just placed a heavy lead blanket over your lungs. Your heart does this strange, uncomfortable flutter, a little skipping beat. That makes you freeze in your tracks for a second. You catch your breath, you sit down in the nearest chair, and almost like magic, the feeling completely vanishes within a minute or two. Because the symptom disappears so quickly, you immediately brush it off. You tell yourself that you are just a little out of shape, or that this is just what happens when you start getting older. You convince yourself that getting tired easily is perfectly normal for someone your age. But I need you to listen to me very carefully right now. What you think is just the natural aging process actually is not. That fleeting moment of breathlessness, that heavy chest sensation that vanishes. When you rest, is your heart desperately sounding an alarm? It is crying out for help because it is physically struggling to pump blood through narrowing, plaque-filled arteries. Every time you exert yourself, even slightly, your heart muscle demands more oxygen. But because those vital pathways are becoming clogged and stiff, the blood simply cannot flow fast enough to deliver that oxygen. That is why you feel the flutter, the tightness, and the exhaustion. And the moment you sit down and reduce the demand on your heart, the limited blood flow becomes just barely enough again, and the symptom hides itself. This is why it is so incredibly dangerous. It lulls you into a false sense of security. You go back to your day, trying not to think about the terrifying thought that lingers in the back of your mind. The fear of the silent widowmaker, the deep, dark anxiety that one day, that flutter might not go away when you sit down. You are terrified of having a sudden, silent heart attack, and I do not blame you one bit for being scared. It is exhausting living with this quiet fear hanging over your head every single day. You probably go to bed at night staring at the ceiling, wondering if your heart is strong enough to make it through the next decade. You want to be there for your family. You want to see your grandchildren grow up, and you want to maintain your independence without becoming a burden to anyone. So, you do what anyone would do, and you go to your doctor looking for answers and reassurance. But let us be honest about what usually happens in that clinic. You wait for an hour in a cold waiting room, only to get maybe 7 to 10 rushed minutes with a physician who is staring at a computer screen. Instead of looking you in the eye, you try to explain the shortness of breath and the fatigue, but before you can even finish your sentence, they are looking at your latest blood work. They tell you your cholesterol is creeping up, your blood pressure is a bit too high, and immediately they reach for their prescription pad. They do not ask about your life, your stress, or your daily routine. They just write you a script for a statin, maybe a blood thinner, or a blood pressure medication, and send you on your way. And this leaves you feeling incredibly frustrated and completely unseen. You do not want to be chained to a plastic pill organizer for the rest of your life. You have read the warnings and you know the risks. You know that those heavy cholesterol-lowering medications often come with a laundry list of miserable side effects. Suddenly, your legs start cramping up at night, making it impossible to get a good sleep. You wake up feeling a deep, aching muscle pain. That makes even getting out of bed feel like a chore. You might even start experiencing that terrifying brain fog where you cannot remember simple names or words, leaving you wondering if you are losing your mind. The medical system tells you this is just the price you have to pay to protect your heart, but it does not feel like protection. It feels like a slow, steady loss of your quality of life. You are caught in this impossible trap where you are terrified of a sudden heart attack, but you are equally terrified of spending your golden years feeling weak, medicated, and utterly exhausted. You know deep down that masking the symptom with a chemical is not actually fixing the underlying rot inside your blood vessels. My name is Dr. Arthur. I have spent years listening to patients sit in my office, crying tears of sheer frustration because they feel like their body is betraying them, and the medical system has abandoned them. They feel like they are ticking time bombs just waiting for an artery to completely shut down. But I am here to look you in the eye and tell you that you do not have to live like this anymore. You do not have to accept that getting older means getting weaker. You do not have to resign yourself to a life of heavy medications, constant anxiety, and muscle aches. Today, I am going to give you the real, scientifically backed root cause of why your arteries are narrowing in the first place. More importantly, I am going to show you the exact, natural steps to fix it. I am going to share with you a simple, powerful daily drink that you can make in your own kitchen that targets the plaque directly, helping to unclog those pathways significantly faster than you ever thought possible. We are going to get your confidence back, and we are going to do it by working with your body, not against it. To fix this problem, we first have to completely change the way you understand it. For decades, the mainstream medical establishment has fed you a very specific narrative about heart disease. They have told you that your arteries are like the plumbing pipes under your kitchen sink, and that the cholesterol from the food you eat is like hot bacon grease. They tell you that if you eat too much fat, that grease simply floats through your blood and sticks to the sides of the pipes, eventually causing a clog. This is a very simple story to tell, and it sells billions of dollars worth of cholesterol-lowering drugs every single year. But as a medical professional who reads the actual clinical data, I must tell you that this plumbing analogy is completely wrong. It is biologically inaccurate, and it is the main reason why so many people suffer from heart attacks even when their cholesterol levels are considered perfectly normal. Your body is not a set of dumb, lifeless pipes. Your arteries are living, breathing, dynamic tissue. They are incredibly complex highways that expand and contract with every single beat of your heart. So, what is actually causing the blockage? Let us reframe this. I want you to imagine the inner lining of your arteries. It is a microscopic, single layer of cells called the endothelium. This fragile lining is the absolute key to your cardiovascular health. When you are young and healthy, this lining is perfectly smooth, like Teflon. Blood cells simply glide right past it effortlessly. But over time, due to the modern environment we live in, that smooth Teflon lining starts taking damage. Think of it like a freshly paved highway that is constantly being pounded by heavy trucks, harsh weather, and toxic chemicals. The heavy trucks are high blood pressure pounding against the walls. The harsh weather is the massive amount of sugar and processed carbohydrates hidden in almost everything we eat, which acts like tiny shards of glass scraping the artery walls. The toxic chemicals are the constant stress hormones, environmental pollutants, and oxidized, rancid seed oils we consume daily. Over the years, all of these factors constantly bombard your delicate endothelium, causing microscopic cracks, tears, and severe inflammation. Your body is infinitely intelligent. It never does anything to purposely harm you. When it senses these dangerous cracks forming in the walls of your vital arteries, it panics. It knows that if the artery tears open, you will bleed out internally and die. So, it sends out an emergency repair crew to patch the damage. And do you know what the primary patching material is? It is cholesterol. Your liver manufactures cholesterol and sends it to the site of the injury to literally spackle over the microscopic cracks. Just like a construction worker patching a pothole on the highway, the cholesterol is not the enemy here. The cholesterol is the ambulance arriving at the scene of the crash. Blaming cholesterol for heart disease is like blaming the firemen for the fire just because they are always present at the burning building. The real enemy, the true root cause of your narrowing arteries, is the relentless inflammation that caused the cracks in the first place. But the story does not end with a simple patch. Because the inflammation in your body never stops, the damage to the artery wall continues day after day. The body keeps sending more and more cholesterol to patch the growing wounds. Soon, immune cells called macrophages rush to the scene to try and clean up the mess. They start gobbling up the damaged cholesterol, but they end up choking on it, turning into what we call foam cells. These foam cells get trapped inside the artery wall, dying and decaying. Over time, calcium comes in to try and harden the area to stabilize it. This entire chaotic mess of decaying cells, oxidized fat, and hardened calcium is what we call arterial plaque. It pushes outward, narrowing the passageway for your blood. Your blood pressure goes up because your heart has to squeeze 10 times harder to force the same amount of blood through a smaller, stiffer hole. This is exactly why you get breathless on the stairs. This is why you feel that heavy flutter. Your heart is begging for oxygen, but the highway is blocked by a massive, hardened scar. Now that you understand the true nature of the problem, you can see why simply taking a pill to artificially lower your cholesterol numbers does not actually cure the disease, it just reduces the amount of patching material available while ignoring the roaring fire of inflammation that is continuously damaging your arteries. If we want to truly clear these pathways and stop the breathlessness, we have to do three highly specific things. First, we must immediately halt the microscopic damage happening to the endothelial lining. Second, we have to provide your body with the specific raw materials it needs to dissolve the existing calcified plaque safely. And third, we must trigger your blood vessels to physically widen and relax, instantly improving blood flow and taking the massive strain off your exhausted heart. I am going to show you exactly how to do all three of these things simultaneously, using a very specific, scientifically validated combination of natural compounds. You are going to consume this in the form of a simple, potent daily drink. This is not some trendy internet fad. This is pure, evidence-based nutritional biochemistry. The foundation of this arterial clearing protocol relies on a specific biological gas produced by your own body called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the ultimate miracle molecule for your cardiovascular system. When your endothelial cells release nitric oxide, it acts as a powerful signaling messenger that tells the smooth muscles wrapping around your arteries to instantly relax and expand. This process is called vasodilation. Imagine a tight, pinched garden hose suddenly opening up to its full width, allowing water to rush through effortlessly. That is exactly what nitric oxide does for your blood vessels. It immediately lowers your blood pressure, stops the chest flutter, and allows a massive rush of life-saving oxygen to reach your heart muscle. However, as we age past 60, and especially when our arteries are inflamed and damaged, our natural ability to produce nitric oxide plummets by over 50%. Your blood vessels become stiff, rigid, and unable to expand when you need them to. Our daily drink is specifically designed to force your body to massively ramp up its nitric oxide production, completely reversing this age-related decline. The first critical ingredient in this daily drink is pure, unsweetened pomegranate juice. I am not talking about the sugary, watered-down fruit punch you find in the normal juice aisle. I mean the tart, dark red, 100% pure extraction. Pomegranate is arguably the most profoundly beneficial fruit for cardiovascular health ever discovered by science. It contains a unique class of powerful antioxidants called punicalagins. These compounds are so potent that clinical studies have shown they can actually reverse the thickening of the carotid artery walls. When you consume pure pomegranate, these punicalagins rush into your bloodstream and act like microscopic scrub brushes. They specifically target and neutralize the oxidized LDL cholesterol, stopping the foam cells from forming in their tracks. But more importantly, pomegranate protects the precious nitric oxide in your blood from being destroyed by free radicals. It extends the life of the nitric oxide, keeping your blood vessels wide open and relaxed for hours at a time. This takes an enormous burden off your heart, stopping that sudden fatigue when you carry the groceries. The second powerful ingredient we are adding to this protocol is a heavy concentration of Hibiscus sabdariffa. Hibiscus is a vibrant red flower that has been used in traditional medicine for centuries, but modern cardiology has recently uncovered exactly how it works. Hibiscus acts as a natural ACE inhibitor. ACE stands for angiotensin-converting enzyme. In your body, this enzyme causes your blood vessels to constrict and narrow, which dangerously spikes your blood pressure and forces your heart to work in overdrive. Pharmaceutical companies create synthetic ACE inhibitor drugs to block this process, but they often cause a persistent, irritating dry cough and kidney issues. Hibiscus naturally and gently inhibits this exact same enzyme without the harsh side effects. It relaxes the arterial walls, allowing the blood to flow with incredible ease. When you combine the natural ACE-inhibiting power of hibiscus with the nitric oxide-boosting power of pomegranate, you create a compounding, synergistic effect that forces your cardiovascular system to open up and breathe again. But we are not stopping there. To actually begin dissolving the hardened, calcified plaque that is currently choking your arteries, we need to introduce a very specific botanical compound. The third ingredient in your daily drink is a generous pinch of pure Ceylon cinnamon. Notice I said Ceylon cinnamon, not the cheap cassia cinnamon sitting in most grocery store spice racks. Ceylon cinnamon is the true medicinal bark. It contains high levels of cinnamaldehyde, a compound with profound anti-inflammatory properties. Remember, inflammation is the roaring fire causing the cracks in your artery walls. Ceylon cinnamon acts like a soothing fire blanket, drastically cooling down systemic inflammation across your entire body. By stopping the damage, your body no longer needs to keep sending cholesterol to patch the walls. Even more incredibly, Ceylon cinnamon is a master regulator of blood sugar. It prevents the sharp glucose spikes that act like shards of glass in your bloodstream, protecting that fragile Teflon lining of your arteries from further injury. The final, vital component of this daily heart tonic is something that might surprise you, but it holds the absolute key to melting away decades of arterial blockages. You need to add a small amount of raw, crushed garlic, or preferably a high-quality aged garlic extract. Garlic has been revered as a cure-all for millennia, but its true magic lies in a sulfur compound called allicin. However, allicin is highly unstable. When garlic is aged through a specific extraction process, it converts into a highly stable, highly bioavailable compound called S-allylcysteine, or SAC. Clinical trials utilizing aged garlic extract have produced absolutely staggering results. In peer-reviewed studies using advanced cardiac scanning technology, patients taking aged garlic extract actually saw a significant reduction in soft, vulnerable arterial plaque. It literally helps to stabilize and shrink the blockages that cause silent heart attacks. It acts as a natural blood thinner, preventing platelets from clumping together and forming deadly clots, all without the dangerous bleeding risks associated with heavy pharmaceutical thinners. Now, I know exactly what you are thinking. You are wondering how you are supposed to put all of these powerful ingredients together without making something. That tastes like a bitter medicinal swamp. I promise you, this routine is simple. It takes less than 5 minutes, and it is actually quite refreshing once you get used to it. The key is consistency. Your arteries did not clog up overnight, and they are not going to completely clear out by next Tuesday. It took decades of wear and tear to build up that plaque. But by utilizing this specific protocol, we can begin reversing the process at an exponentially faster rate than your body could ever do on its own. I want you to treat this drink with the same level of respect and dedication that you would give to a life-saving prescription. This is your new daily ritual for survival and vitality. I am going to give you the exact step-by-step action plan right now. I want you to know exactly what to do tonight, what to do tomorrow morning, and how to maintain this powerful habit throughout the rest of the week. Tonight, your only job is to gather the right materials. I want you to go to a high-quality health food store or order these specific items online. Do not compromise on the quality, because your heart deserves the absolute best. You need to find a bottle of 100% pure, unsweetened, cold-pressed pomegranate juice. Look closely at the label and ensure there are zero added sugars or cheap filler juices, like apple or grape. Next, you need to find organic, dried hibiscus flowers. They are usually sold in bulk bags in the tea aisle or online. Then, make absolutely sure you purchase organic Ceylon cinnamon powder. It will say Ceylon or True Cinnamon right on the label. Finally, secure a high-quality aged garlic extract in liquid form. If you cannot find the liquid extract, you can use 1 small clove of fresh, raw garlic, but you must crush it and let it sit in the open air for 10 full minutes before using it. Exposing the crushed garlic to the air is the only way to activate the crucial allicin compounds. Once you have these 4 ingredients sitting on your kitchen counter, you are ready to begin the healing process. Tomorrow morning, you are going to wake up and make this your very first action of the day. Do not drink coffee yet. Do not eat breakfast yet. You want your stomach completely empty so your body can absorb these powerful compounds immediately, rushing them straight into your bloodstream without any interference from digestion. Take a small saucepan and bring about 8 ounces of filtered water to a gentle simmer. Turn off the heat and drop in 1 heaping tablespoon of the dried hibiscus flowers. Let this steep for at least 10 minutes until the water turns a deep, rich, ruby red. This is the extraction of those powerful blood pressure lowering ACE inhibitors. Once it is steeped, strain out the flowers and pour that hot crimson tea into your favorite mug. Now, the magic happens. While the tea is still warm, stir in 2 to 3 ounces of the pure cold-pressed pomegranate juice. The warmth of the tea will perfectly balance the tartness of the juice, creating a very robust, earthy flavor profile. Next, take half a teaspoon of your pure Ceylon cinnamon powder and vigorously stir it into the mug. Cinnamon is notoriously difficult to dissolve, so it will float on the top a bit, and that is perfectly fine. Just keep stirring to suspend the powder in the liquid. Finally, add the last, most crucial element. If you have the liquid-aged garlic extract, add the recommended dosage on the bottle, usually about half a teaspoon. If you are using the fresh garlic method, take that single crushed clove that has been resting for 10 minutes and simply swallow it whole like a pill with a large gulp of your warm tea mixture. Do not try to chew the raw garlic or mix it into the tea itself, as the flavor will simply overpower everything and make it difficult to drink. Just swallow the crushed pieces quickly. Sip the rest of your warm, antioxidant-rich, artery-clearing tonic slowly. Feel the warmth traveling down into your stomach. Visualize those incredible compounds entering your blood, rushing toward your heart, and beginning the hard work of scrubbing away the plaque and soothing your inflamed vessels. This week, your strict assignment is to drink this exact formulation every single morning on an empty stomach. Make it a non-negotiable part of your morning routine, just like brushing your teeth. As the days pass, I want you to pay very close attention to how your body starts to respond. By day 3 or 4, you might notice that when you wake up, your head feels a little clearer. That brain fog might start to lift because your cerebral blood flow is finally improving. By day 7, I want you to carefully test yourself. Walk up that single flight of stairs that used to leave you gasping for air. Carry those groceries from the car without stopping to rest. You are going to be absolutely shocked when you reach the top of the stairs and realize that the terrifying, heavy flutter in your chest is simply gone. You will take a deep breath and realize your lungs can fully expand without that crushing sensation. That deep, overwhelming fatigue will start to be replaced by a clean, steady energy. This is not a miracle. This is the predictable result of giving your body exactly what it needs to heal the inner lining of your vascular system. You must understand that the medical industry has completely conditioned us to believe that health comes exclusively from a plastic bottle with a child-proof cap. They have trained us to think that severe cardiovascular issues can only be managed by highly complex, synthesized chemicals that alter our basic biology, often leaving collateral damage in their wake. But the truth is, the human body evolved alongside nature for millions of years. Our cells absolutely recognize and respond to the organic compounds found in real, unadulterated plants. The punicolagens in pomegranate, the anthocyanins in hibiscus, the cinnamaldehyde in Ceylon cinnamon, and the stable sulfur compounds in aged garlic are not alternative medicine. They are original medicine. They work on the exact same biochemical pathways that pharmaceutical drugs try to target, but they do it elegantly, gently, and without shutting down your liver or destroying your muscle tissue. You are stepping out of the cycle of fear and taking profound, autonomous control over your own cardiovascular destiny. Imagine what your life will look like just a few short months from now if you stick to this simple morning ritual. Imagine the immense relief of walking into your doctor's office for your follow-up appointment. You sit in that cold room, but this time you are not anxious. You are not bracing yourself for bad news. The doctor pulls up your latest lipid panel and your blood pressure readings on their computer screen, and their brow furrows in confusion. They look at the screen, they look back at you, and they ask what on earth you have been doing. Your blood pressure has normalized, falling perfectly into the healthy range without the need to double your medication. Your inflammatory markers, like your C-reactive protein, have plummeted to the floor. The dangerous, oxidized LDL that was scarring your arteries has dropped significantly. They might even try to give credit to the statin or suggest that you are finally just eating a low-fat diet. But you will know the truth. You will know that you activated your body's own miraculous ability to produce nitric oxide, lower its own inflammation, and gently scrub its own vital highways clean. You will no longer be the person who has to sit down and rest after 10 minutes of light yard work. You will not have to secretly worry if playing a little too hard with your grandchildren will trigger a catastrophic cardiac event. You will finally regain the deep, restful sleep that you deserve. Because your legs will no longer ache with the chemical cramps caused by heavy statin use, and your mind will be free from the terrifying anxiety of the silent widowmaker. This is about so much more than just living longer. It is about actually living fully in the years you have left. It is about waking up every single day feeling strong, capable, and entirely independent. Your heart is the hardest working muscle in your entire body. It beats roughly 100,000 times a day, every single day, without ever asking for a break. It has kept you alive through every stressful event, every heartbreak, and every joyous moment of your entire life. It is time to stop ignoring its cries for help and start giving it the profound nourishment and protection it desperately needs to keep you thriving. I want you to make a promise to yourself right now. Promise that you will stop dismissing your shortness of breath and your deep fatigue as just the normal side effects of getting old. Aging should be a time of wisdom and joy, not a slow descent into weakness and fear. You possess the incredible power to change the environment inside your blood vessels starting tomorrow morning. The road to a strong, resilient heart does not have to be paved with heavy prescriptions, debilitating side effects, and constant medical anxiety. By flooding your system with these potent, natural vasodilators and anti-inflammatory compounds, you are actively choosing life, vitality, and true health. You are turning back the clock on your cardiovascular system, one simple, powerful cup at a time. The power is literally in your hands, right there in your own kitchen. Before we finish, I have a very specific question for you, and I want you to be completely honest with me in the comments section below. What is the one daily activity you used to love doing, but you have slowly stopped doing because you are just too exhausted or fearful of putting too much strain on your heart? Is it working in your garden, walking your dog around the neighborhood, or perhaps playing on the floor with your grandkids? Let me know in the comments, because declaring what you have lost is the very first step to violently taking it back. We read every single comment, and your story might be the exact inspiration someone else needs to realize. They are not alone in this fight. There is a massive community of people here who refuse to give up on their health. If this message resonated with you today, and if you finally feel like you understand exactly what your body has been trying to tell you, please hit that subscribe button right now. We are constantly releasing deep, research-backed videos just like this one to help you reclaim your health, naturally, step by step. Do not keep this life-saving information to yourself. Take 2 seconds to share this video with a friend, a spouse, or a family member who has been suffering in silence, worrying about their blood pressure, or dealing with the miserable side effects of their heart medications. You could literally be the reason they avoid a catastrophic event and get their quality of life back. My name is Dr. Arthur, and I want to personally thank you for spending your time with me today. Stay strong, stay consistent with your morning routine, and always remember that true healing is absolutely possible. I will see you in the next video.